Susie Goodwin here. If you're podcast coaching with me, I'm going to recommend Anchor every single time as your host, and here's why. It's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. And then Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You guys, you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and it quite literally has everything you need to become a podcaster right in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Welcome to Serve Then Sell with guest host Brooke Norlin of Wear It Boldly. This is the third album of the show, and you guys, it's all about personal branding. My co-host Brooke has a decade in direct selling with multiple brands and found her happy place in teaching others about personal branding. She currently represents the brand Line Life, but has flexed her own leadership muscle in this industry by teaching men and women outside her brand how to find their voice and create a personal brand. And that is what we're going to do here too. We consider this album on branding a starting point and required listening for anyone joining, relaunching, or training others in direct sales. Does not matter what brand you're with. So without further ado, here is Brooke Norlin and myself, Susie Goodwin, in Serve Then Sell Personal Branding. All right, guys, this episode is all about being yourself. You are going to love hearing from Brooke about why you shouldn't try to be the jack of all trades, rather be the master of one, why we instinctually try to please everyone, and finally, what mindset we should embrace to show the world ourselves. All right. Welcome, Bold Brooke from Wear It Boldly, aka Brooke Norlin. I am so jazzed to have you here to talk about being you, being ourselves as direct sellers.
Thank you, Susie. Me too. I'm really excited to be here and talk all things direct sales today.
Now, most people, when they're new to direct sales, they are trying to be the jack of all trades. In the context of your own personal story in this industry, can you talk a little bit about maybe why we shouldn't do that?
Sure. I've been in direct sales off and on for over 10 years. And for a really good portion of that time, I actually did not do it well. When I first started, the only strategy I really knew was how to ask my mom how to host a party. Once social media became a part of our daily lives, then I learned I could reach everyone I knew with one click of a button. So I posted less funny memes and things about myself and more about my product. The idea was to reach as many people as I could with my product, because if 500 of my friends saw it, one person was bound to order, right? But that's not good odds. And I didn't know better. And when you're given a starter kit from a company, you're basically told, good luck, you do what you know. All I knew about marketing at that point was that the more people that could hear me, the better odds I had of making a sale. I had no clue that my odds would improve if I would hone in my message and speak to a specific crowd of people. This way, my voice is much louder and not drowned out.
I love this so much. You know, I think, especially as women, right, we can be people please. If we love the brand, right, first of all, we want to tell everyone, but then also if we're putting stuff out there, it's like instinct to please everyone. Why do you think that is?
I have a couple of theories that seem to hit home with people. The first one is honestly something that is a really big deal and we need to address internally. We think it's easier. We don't want to rock the boat. We don't want anyone to hate or to judge us. And the second reason is usually that you want to sell to everyone. So why wouldn't you try to please everyone with what you post and what you say?
You're right. It is easier to try to please everybody. All right, girl. So what mindset should we embrace instead?
Instead, we need to learn to embrace who we are. I always tell people, boldly be exactly who you are. We need to learn not to apologize for being ourselves, and we need to learn that when we do that, we'll find our people and our people will find us. What happens then is that you start to build a community who are loyal to you because of who you are. You'll gain customers, friends, and often find people to collaborate with, and you'll start to stand out in a much bigger way. Think of it like this. A brain surgeon is speaking to a room full of people with the techniques of how to perform her job well. In the room are 100 other brain surgeons, 100 business owners, 100 artists, and 100 dog trainers. The only people listening to her speak are the brain surgeons. The rest are discussing their lines of work with each other. The speaker could talk about her own job, a business idea she has, the art collection she owns, her dog's potty training issues, but she would lose people's attention left and right, and no one would really benefit from the experience. But if that brain surgeon said, "Hey, all you brain surgeons, why don't you come over to this room?" and spoke to them about doing brain surgery, every single one of those people would hear her, learn from her, and benefit from the experience. So what you need to do is weed out the noise, draw people in who will benefit from your voice, and you'll stand out in a whole new way.
I love this. It's almost like you've got a breakout room or something. So like in those professional terms, I find the same thing in my brand. A lot of people are serving mothers, but not everyone is serving working mothers who also like to run. And so with my brand, that's who I serve. And if I can speak specifically to that woman, like, it's okay if I alienate the new mom, because guess what? There's probably someone else to serve her. So in finding our people, right, and maybe sorting through some people to find our people, we want to really express our personality on social in our breakout room. Can you give us a couple of tips for that?
Sure. One really fun way to start showing off who you are on social media is to just share things about your daily life. A lot of people think I'm boring, but let me tell you what, some of the most regular things about my life get the most interaction. Just the other day, I posted about how I didn't want to do my hair, so I didn't. And I went about my day with less than perfect hair. I snapped a quick photo, shared that with my community, and so many people could relate. There was comments and laughter about the whole thing. It appealed to people on a personal level. It showed them a bit of who I am, and it allowed them to feel brave enough to admit they're not always perfect either. Never, ever think you're boring. There's always someone out there who can relate to what you find mundane. When people feel connected to you, they will remember you. And that is what a brand is all about. You don't have to share everything. You can keep portions of your life private. But what you do share should be authentic and real.
I love this. This episode, of course, is all about being you. Brooke, would you mind telling us how you found your brand?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually one of my favorite stories from my childhood. When I was really young, I struggled with self-confidence. I was a fully developed, tall, young woman by sixth grade, and it was awkward to stand out like that among my friends. So I cowered and held very low self-esteem towards myself. As I grew up, I held on to that. Even though everyone else eventually caught up to me, this manifested in me not wanting to go anywhere, always saying I didn't have anything to wear, I didn't look good. And my mom, bless her heart, would help me put together an outfit, try to build my confidence while doing it. After a lot of tears and stress, she'd look at me and say, "Brooke, wear it boldly." She was literally referring to the outfit I said I didn't look good in. She was also giving me the best advice of my young adult life. She was telling me that it didn't matter what I was wearing, to go out into the world and boldly be me. That message is what I try to bring to Wear It Boldly on the daily. Sure, it's evolved a bit over time.
I love this so much, like the hairs on my arms standing up, because Brooke, we've been connected for some time, and that story is so meaningful. It connects me with you further, and well, I guess that's the point, right?
That's exactly the point. But I mean, it's just something that just goes to show you when you have a personal story that you can share with people, the growth you can have in not just your business, but with friends and community as well.
It's a great example of be you. And Brooke Norlin, thank you so much for being you and bringing Wear It Boldly to the Serve Then Sell podcast.
Thank you, Susie. It's so much fun to be here. At the core, my message is always to be yourself and to wear it boldly.
Thank you for listening to Serve Then Sell with guest host Brooke Norlin of Lime Life and Team Wear It Boldly. Our goal for you in this album is to help you find your voice and create a personal brand. We would love to hear your thoughts as you listen through the album. Use the hashtag ServeBoldly. That's ServeBoldly. Serve Boldly, and share your thoughts with us. You guys, show us your personal brand. When you do, two things are going to happen. Number one, we're going to share on our social media accounts, which have a combined reach of 15,000. And you're going to get a free mini branding workbook from Brooke so you can continue to develop in the topic of personal branding. You guys, you can find Brooke at Wear It Boldly on Instagram. You can also find me over on Instagram at Serve Then Sell or Run Lift Mom Pod. Again, we want you to use hashtag Serve Boldly as you listen through these episodes about personal branding. Show off that brand, ask your questions, enjoy the community, serve then sell.